Hi YouTube. So my name is Nicole. I am 26 years old. Um, and I'm gonna tell you my story thus far of being diagnosed with adenocarcinoma. Um, I'm still pretty early in the process, so there's really not a whole lot. So I'm basically going to start at the beginning of how I came to getting diagnosed. Um, in May of 2018, after having months and months, probably at least 4 months of abdominal pain, I had decided that I should make an appointment with my gynecologist. Back in 2012, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I kind of just thought that it was my ovaries and the cysts, and so I thought, well, maybe I need to go in just in case I have a big one. I've had that in the past. It had to be monitored, and I had to be put on medication and all that. So that's kind of what I thought it was. So my doctor ordered an internal ultrasound, and that was probably, well, that was June. That was June 12th. My doctor ordered the ultrasound. I went in, had my ultrasound on June 12th, and my doctor came in. I had a consultation right afterwards so that she could go over the ultrasound with me. And she came in and she said that I did have the polycystic ovaries, but that she was concerned that that wasn't where my pain was coming from. And she diagnosed me with endometriosis and adenomyosis. And that was the first time that I had gotten that diagnosis or that anything had been said, despite multiple internal ultrasounds over the years because of my polycystic ovarian syndrome. So my doctor realized while I was there that I hadn't had a pap smear in nearly 5 years. It was one of those things, honestly, I felt like I've been with the same man now for 8 years. I'm not messing around. He's not messing around. There's no need for it, and I just really kind of never put any more thought into it, honestly. I don't know, I never really felt like it was necessary. So, June 20th, 2018, I went in for my pap smear. It was noted during my pap smear that my cervix was, and I quote, unusually sensitive, according to my gynecologist. And I remember asking her, is that normal? Because I had never had anybody say anything to me during a pap smear, and she said it can be, and she left it at that. So I thought, okay. Called my mom. I was a little bit upset. So anyways, so then this was June 20th. So I didn't hear anything for a while. So I thought, okay, I'm good. I didn't think nothing of it. July 3rd, I got a phone call. 2018, July 3rd. I got a phone call from my gynecologist. And I had just got put on birth control, so I thought maybe they were calling to check up on how that was going or something. But I listened to the voicemail that they left me because I was at work, and they had said that something came up on my pap smear and that they wanted to go over it with me. So I called them, and they really didn't tell me a whole lot. They just kind of said it came back abnormal, and that they wanted to schedule me for a colposcopy. And so on July 3rd, I told them, you schedule it for whenever is your first available opening, and I will work it out with my job, and I will be there. So July 12th, they had scheduled the colposcopy. But July 10th, they wanted me to come in for what they were calling a pre-op appointment. So I went in on July 10th. And when I went in, they weren't talking about the colposcopy anymore. And I asked my doctor, I said, well, the way that the lady that I had talked to on the phone described it, it was different than the procedure you're talking about right now. And my doctor said, excuse me, sorry. My doctor said, well, after looking at everything, I decided that we could go ahead and do the colposcopy, but even doing the colposcopy, you're going to end up getting a cone biopsy. So we're going to skip that step and just go straight to the cone biopsy. And I said, okay, so what is abnormal? I guess I didn't understand at that point what they had found. And she was being so nonchalant about it, and she just said, adenocarcinoma is what we found, and we believe it's in the earlier stages, and we think that we can get it all with this procedure. And I said, okay. And they just kind of let me leave, and I didn't really know how to feel about it. I was upset about it. I cried a lot. I texted my husband, who was at work, and told him what they had said. And so then on the 12th, we go in for the cone biopsy, and it was nothing to eat or drink after midnight. I had to be there at 8:30 in the morning, and it started at 9:30. Nothing to eat or drink after midnight. I had to stop taking my metformin, which I take for my insulin resistance, at least 24 hours prior to the procedure. And so I did and everything. And the procedure itself was really quick. I think I was under general anesthesia for 40 minutes. And then the procedure was done, and not long after that, me and my husband were headed home. So now I'm still waiting for my results. I don't know. We don't know what stage it is. We don't know what treatment will be. We don't know anything, and it sucks. It's hard. It's hard not knowing what's going on with your body, and it's hard not knowing what you're going to have to go through to get your body better. It's not easy. It's stressful. It's emotional. It's hard on me. It's hard on my husband. We really aren't telling very many people about it right now until we know more and we can actually answer questions. And I feel like that makes it a little bit harder on me, because the very few people that I have confided in, I don't want to only talk cancer with them. But I also am driving myself nuts being inside my own head. And it's hard when, for the people that you love, you're scared. You're scared for them, and you're scared for what they're going to go through by seeing you go through this. And they're trying to be strong for you, and you're trying to be strong for them, and it sucks. It does. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I just want to get the results and just know, even if that means that I have to have a radical hysterectomy, or maybe a PET scan or an MRI, or more tests, or chemo, or radiation. I just want to know. I just want to know what's going on. I want to know what my exact diagnosis is. I want to know what my prognosis is. I want to know what my family and my loved ones are going to go through watching me go through this, and knowing that, there's really nothing that they can do to help me except be there to support me, but physically, I have to do it myself. Nobody can do this for me. And because of that, I worry for my husband, because he is the kind of man that would rather bear all the weight on his shoulders than for me to suffer, even in the slightest. He would rather do all of the suffering so that I don't have to suffer. And for him, I'm afraid of what this will do to him and how it will make him feel, because I know that he'll feel that he has to be strong for me and he has to be supportive for me, but who's being strong for him and supporting him? And my parents and, my siblings and even my kids. I've got 2 children. My son is going to be 17 on the 23rd, and my daughter is going to be 5 in September. And my daughter, she won't really understand. She doesn't know. I try not to use the C word, cancer, in front of her, even though she doesn't know what it is, and I just don't want her childhood to be affected by it. And my son is 17, so unfortunately, he's going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly with this, and he's going to have to watch me suffer, and he's going to feel like he has to be strong for me, and it's hard to know that what's going on with me is going to cause the people that I love the most so much pain and suffering, and it's hard to know that they won't admit to it because they feel like they can't, because no matter how much suffering they're going to do, they're going to feel like I'm going to suffer more, and it's just hard, and it's shitty, and it's scary, and I don't feel like my doctor has made me feel very comfortable with the whole situation. Honestly, I feel like my doctor beats around the bush about things. I had been reading that a lot of times they can judge how early into the cancer stages they found the cancer, because women get pap smears regularly. I haven't. So could be harder for them to tell, because it's been so long since my last pap smear, and I can't stress enough, go get your pap smear. I know that it's a pain, and you gotta schedule it around work and kids and school and life and putting pants on to leave the house. I know, I'm that person, okay? I wish I'd have gotten my pap smear every year, but I didn't. And now, I don't know what's gonna happen, and the not knowing is hard. It is. And the waiting, and I'm waiting on this biopsy to come back, and even though it's only been 4 days, granted 3 of those, it's been the weekend, I got it done on Thursday, it's only been 4 days, and most of that has been weekend time where doctors aren't really in, and my gynecologist is closed, and waiting sucks. Not knowing sucks. Cancer sucks. I always thought, this is something that you hear about it in the news, and maybe sometimes people you're close to or people you love go through it, but it's never you, like, oh, that's not going to happen to me. Oh, it's going to be fine. It's happening to me. And I struggle with the thought of it, and I don't want to think about it, but it's all I can think about, and I don't want to talk about it, but every time I turn around I end up talking about it, and we haven't told a lot of people, and my husband and I, mostly me. He's been very supportive. He's been wonderful. My husband and I had both kind of decided that until we know what stage I'm in, or what my treatment would be, or I mean, there's a chance that they got it all with the cone biopsy if I'm as early as they think that I am, or as early as they're hopeful that I am, and I could be cancer free right now and not know it. I don't remember where I was going with that statement. Oh, we decided not to discuss it openly with like my extended family and things like that, because we just don't know, and we can't answer any questions, and everybody has their questions, and I'm not ashamed of it. I just I don't feel the need to tell the people that I love about this when we don't know what we're dealing with. I don't want to cause them to worry for me when maybe they don't need to. Maybe they got it all with this cone biopsy. Maybe I'm cancer free right now and we don't even know it. Basically makes you feel alone. My husband's been wonderful. He has been strong for me. He has cried with me. He has held me. He has supported me in ways that I never expected him to have to. And that's what hurts me the worst. I think that I feel like when I talk to my family, and I have one friend who knows, but she really is, she's more like my sister, and, you know, she's great. She talks to me, she lets me go on and on and on and on and on, repeating myself, I'm sure, hundreds of times, and, you know, she pretends like it's the first time she's heard it, and she's awesome, but, besides her, I feel like I can't talk to my husband or my parents. We don't really talk to my children about it, so I'm not even going to include them in that sentence, but the few people that do know, besides her, I can't be honest with them about how I'm feeling. I don't feel like I can. I know I probably can be. I don't feel like I can be, and so I'm not. I just have a feeling in the pit of my stomach that they didn't get it all, and that this isn't the end, and I pray every day that I'm wrong, and that this is the end of it, and that I can go back to just getting a normal pap smear and be done, and not have to suffer through this illness like so many other women have to. And so I guess that's why I wanted to make this video today. I guess I wanted to talk to other women who are going through this currently, or I guess put it on YouTube for future women that will go through it. I was surprised by the lack of vlogging that there was on YouTube for this, and so because of that, I wanted to get on and share my experiences and my feelings, and just the whole process for me up to this point, and vent a little bit and be able to be raw and honest and not hold back, and hopeful, and just to spread awareness. I cannot stress how important it is to get your pap smears done. See your gynecologist. Take what is it, 25, 30 minutes, including waiting room time, out of your day to go and have these tests done, and don't let it go until you're stuck wondering. It's been 5 years. For me, it's been 5 years since my pap smear. Maybe a week after my last pap smear, maybe my cells started changing, and we don't know it. We didn't know it. And now they've had 5 years to grow from healthy cells to abnormal cells to precancerous cells to cancerous cells to spread into the tissue and the lymph nodes, and we don't know. And that's the hardest part, is not knowing. So please, if you haven't this year, go get your PAPS test. Go talk to your gynecologist. Don't wait 4 months like I did with abdominal pain after no pap smear for nearly 5 years. Take care of yourselves. Because I can tell you that if I could do it again, I'd get the pap smear and I would avoid all of this, and I wouldn't choose to put my family through this and myself. I think that's all I have for right now. I plan to continue to vlog through my entire process, treatment. Again, I don't know what that'll be as of now. But I will update, at the very least, with my biopsy results and basically what I found out, maybe my exact diagnosis as far as staging, maybe not, maybe just talk to you about some upcoming treatment or testing or those kinds of things. Until then, I truly hope that this helps, and I'll be back with more information when I know more. Thanks for listening, guys.